I really do love that. I always think about this one guy, my favorite of all time, Chuck Bartlett from Mississippi. Chucky shouldn't have been able to make that throw, but he believed.
Well, that 30-yard pass, which was the last pass in the competition, was quite a chunk. It's, 30 yards, 90 feet. No one had ever made that pass before. Still to this day hasn't made a pass from that distance. And so as I walked back, I really forgot about that I'd never made it before, because God told me it was going in.
Yes, I was glad Chuck was out there, but I had been praying. I had been praying ahead of time. I knew that Chuck could not do it in his own, by his own hand.
My faith was not as strong, at least then, as my wife's was. She knew that the best would happen through God, and I started believing through her.
Chuck needed help, and the help was sent. I've always drank Dr. Pepper, even as a child.
When we first got our snacks and soda machines in my office, when I started with my company, Dr. Pepper was in that machine, and that's the first time I actually tried it in 1976. I was already in my 20s then, and I loved it.
I was joking with somebody and told somebody my mother probably put it in my bottle, but that's...
We're Dr. Pepper people all the way.
Chuck Bartlett, Natchez, Mississippi.
We were having breakfast the first morning there, that Friday before the preliminary round, and I started telling Sherry, I said, that guy looks pretty good. He's going to be tough to beat. And then I actually picked out a man that I thought would win.
I would tell Chuck, oh, look at him. And finally, I think Chuck just said, okay, I see.
Of course, with Sherry's faith, and I love her to death, I didn't want to burst her bubble, so I said, well, of course, in my strength, that man will win, but in God's strength, I do have a chance. All right. So it was just wonderful. Dr. Pepper treated us like kings, and I really felt important even before I actually had won anything. It was just probably the most exciting physical time of my life I've ever had.
And coming up at halftime, the Dr. Pepper throw for dough. That man, Chuck Bartlett, will have a chance to earn a large piece of cash. You can tell he's nervous already.
Yeah. That was the largest game I've ever been to as far as crowd and significance ever.
We were right there, the football players were right there, and we were on the sidelines, and all of a sudden the cameras were everywhere on us.
Yeah, the butterflies started flying within my stomach.
Our contestant today, Chuck Bartlett from Mississippi. Now, Chuck, I understand that you've never played football, so tell me, how's your aim? Have you been practicing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. You seem a little nervous. We want you to win a ton of money. Good luck.
All right, Chuck Bartlett from Natchez, Mississippi. There's 1, 2.
I like his concentration.
Ah.
All right, stay in rhythm, Chuck.
4.
There you go. He's not worrying about the clock. He's not rushing the throw. I kind of like that technique. A little more air because you're a little deeper throw. That's all right.
I could see that he was not getting all of them because I just really expected that he would get all of them.
The cockiness left real quick as I missed all of them.
Uh-oh.
But in the 8th pass, God actually spoke to me as I'm speaking to you right now. God spoke to me on the 8th pass as I was missing from the 10-yard line, and I had 2 more to go, and he said, Chuck, don't worry about it. I was getting humanly frustrated, he said, because we're going to make the big throw for the testimony.
I just believe that God had it in store for Chuck to do this.
Just a peace came over me like I've never had, and knowing that all these people were watching, I just really started thanking him, because he took all the fear, all the doubts, all the not being calm anymore out of myself, and just had a peace about myself because I knew that he was faithful. God's never lied to me, nor to anyone else, so I knew it was going to happen.
He had been practicing so and had never, ever reached the 30-yard target and never has since.
30 yards away. Throw into a hole that looks about the size of a quarter to him right now. Oh, baby!
Outstanding!
That was a great throw.
Thank you, Jesus! Chuck Bartlett is a life insurance salesman. 2 children, Stephanie and Hope. That's just great.
I mean, he concentrated. He knew that he had to throw it high. Don't try to throw it on the rope. Perfect.
Here's a memory for a lifetime.
Well, you know, I've learned over the years that a lot of times, unfortunately, you have to do a material thing or a spectacular thing to draw people's attention.
I thought, well, this is definitely a miracle that people can see. That's what I would probably say about the whole thing. I know this was a miracle because I know that Chuck had not thrown that and never has since.
Chuck, you're here with your wife, Sherry. You were pretty calm out there, and the bonus ball is all that counts. What were you thinking?
That Jesus Christ gives me all the strength I need to do whatever I need.
All right, Chuck, what are you going to do with that cash?
Well, first of all, we're going to tithe to our church, and we've got several Christian missionary charities we're planning to give to.
Yes, it was the greatest moment of my life. I mean, it's a memory for a lifetime. I can't wait till my grandson is old enough. He's 11 months old. I can show him that video and say, hey, that's Grandpa out there, and let him see why that ball went through. Because he'll be excited for the throw, but let him know that with God, all things are possible.